If you were forced to do only one thing to secure your WordPress website, what would it be? Of course, it would be backups, but do you take the extra mile like nature does and use what we call redundancy? I'm pretty sure you don't, and in this tutorial I want to show you a 7-layer step that you can use to secure your website and be ready for any scenarios. So yes, it's a tutorial about WPvivid backup plugin, but we will go a lot further, believe me. First things first, layer 1 is about server-side backups. So you just need to understand that you don't have only backups at the application level, and the application being WordPress. You also have backups at the server level, so at your hosting. So if you don't have backups with your hosting providers, well, you should change your hosting providers. But here in my example, I will use Hostinger. And if you are into one of your websites, you can click on Manage. I'm going to show you in this example where you have backups. And if you go down to Files, you will find Backups menu. And in Backups menu, you have weekly backups. So depending on your hosting service, you may have daily backups or you may not have daily backups. Maybe it's an upsell like we have here in Hostinger. So it's not always necessary to have daily backups. It depends on your website. So if you have a very simple website like a brochure website or a service website, but you don't sell anything, it's not an e-commerce, not a membership, well, I think you don't need daily backups. Weekly backups is fine. And if you want to go further, you can take daily backups because I think you will sleep better at night. Daily backups would mean that you have new data entries every day. It means like you do very often you do changes on your website. Very often you have some orders on your e-commerce website. So you need to have something happening every day so that you would really need daily backups. Otherwise, weekly is perfect. So this is about Hostinger here. This is the interface. You just need to come here and restore websites. So do not pay attention to file and database for now. Just stick with restore website. It means that you restore everything and you can click on select here and you would just need to select the right website, choose your domain, which means choose your website, and go for the backup you want depending on what's going on your website. So this is server-side backup, and it's the first layer, and it's very important because quite often when you have something going on with your website, the best way to restore your website is to go on your hosting, because sometimes you don't have access to your website if something going on. But if you can log into your hosting, well, you can restore your website with ease. Layer 2 is obviously a plugin. It's the application level of your website. So application again means WordPress itself. And well, it means that we're gonna install a plugin together. It's a free plugin and you also have daily backups here. So let me show you what plugins do I recommend for daily backups in WordPress. Let's do a research together. And so you click on plugins, add new, and you can make a research for WPvivid. So if you want to be sure which one it is, because you have several, it's all the same icons, but you have the number of active installations right here. So 300,000, it's this one. You install and activate right away the plugin, and I will show you how you can use it. Very simple, very straightforward. We go to the settings. We are into the settings, WPvivid backup here. And once you clicked on backup now, well, you will have a backup of your website. It literally means that it's very important to understand that it literally means that you have a full copy of your website. No matter what you have in your website right now, you have a full copy and you can paste sort of your website anywhere else. So it really means that it's really more secure just because of backup. Sometimes you want to do more, sometimes you want to do more sophisticated stuff, but honestly, backup is really the one thing you should do on your website, and it literally means that you have a clone of your website when you have a backup. So it's very important and very secure for you. And you let database plus files checked, save backups to local. Let's click on backup now. That's it, we have a backup of the website. So now you can find your backup under the backups list. So you would have a list of all your backups here. You can download it and keep it safe on your own computer if you want. You can then, if you download the backup on your own computer and you want to restore a backup and the file is on your computer, you could use the upload tab and you can drag and drop your backups here. Then you would find your backup here again into the list, and you can click on restore. So you have several clicks. You click here first, restore, then you need to click here and restore, and then you click on OK to be sure to be really absolutely sure you want to restore your website. So that's it. It's you have two tabs, backups and upload. Now of course we want to go further and we want to schedule the backups so that it's fully automated and you don't have to do anything. So we have to go to the schedule tab. So just near the first tab you have schedule, and here you can click on enable backup schedule. So here you can switch from every 20 hours to daily, to weekly, to fortnightly, to monthly. So basically it all depends on what we talked about previously. So if you have a lot going on your website, you could use daily backups. Bear in mind that if you do daily backups instead of weekly backups, for instance, well, it will take more space, more storage space from your hosting provider. So anyway, I think you have enough space to handle backups and to store your backups on your server, but just in case, you should be aware that if you don't need daily backups, honestly, just go for weekly backups. Weekly backups is, I think, the bare minimum, but then if you have an e-commerce or a lot of changes very often, well, go for daily backups. And if you're a big website, you can go for 12 hours and even less than that if you have the pro version of WPvivid. Then we come here and click on Save Changes, and that's it. It's scheduled. So now you will have automated backups with this plugin every day or week. Under the Settings tab, you will know about the numbers of backups retained. So you can go up to 7 in the free version. So it depends of if you take daily, weekly backups or monthly. Monthly backups, for instance, I don't see the point to have 7 backups retained, but if you go weekly, I think 7 is good. So just click on 7 by default. I think it's the best option you should have here, the best settings, and you click on Save Changes. Now, layer 3, because if you lose your website and you have the backups at the same place as your website, well, you lose everything. You lose your website and you lose your backup. So the goal here is to be as secure as possible. So I think you should outsource your backups. So it's the next layer. It's about outsourcing. It's about using a cloud provider. You have the remote storage tab, and in the remote storage tab, you can find many providers that this plugin is working with. So Google Drive, Dropbox, and OneDrive, the most famous cloud providers out there. So you can use Google Drive or Dropbox. It's completely up to you. So just click on the one you want and click on Authenticate. You go through the process of authenticating, and then you will find your storage right here. So I go for it for Dropbox, authenticate with Dropbox. Then you need to enter an alias right here, just a name. I just enter test and I click on add now. It will be the default remote storage. If you add many, you will find all of them here, and you need to select one as the default remote storage. So I click on add now and boom, I'm done. I have Dropbox set up here. So now I go in schedule and I select send backups to remote storage. So you will see it will be colored. It will be a colored icon, and save change. And that's it. So either you want to have the schedule with your cloud or with your remote storage, or you do yourself a backup now. You should select send backup to remote storage as well, so that it's not only just stored locally, but also on Dropbox. Do you want a bonus tip? Well, I have one for you. You can do both your cloud provider and local host. If you go under settings, you have a checkbox here. Keep storing the backups in localhost after uploading to remote storage. It means that you have both. So again, another layer of security, depending of if you have enough space again in your hosting provider. So if it takes too much space, just don't do this, but most of the time it shouldn't be a problem. So just check this box and click on Save Changes. Now you wonder, how can we go even further? How can we add another layer? Well, you can use your own computer, completely automated again here also, and you can have your backups in your hosting provider. You can have the server-side backups. You can have the backup from your plugin in your hosting provider and in your cloud, and you can have this same backup onto your own computer. So if you use a Dropbox like I did, you have an app which is a desktop app you can use. You can install Dropbox on your own computer, and it will synchronize all the files and everything you have in Dropbox onto your own computer. So it means that you literally have another backup of a backup, so to speak. So I recommend you to do this because, again, it's fully automated. You don't have to do anything afterward. So why not don't do it, So just download the Dropbox app in this case. And if you don't use Dropbox, well, I recommend you to do the work and find out what you can do with the cloud provider you have. At this point, I think we did a great job, but let me give you a few extra steps if you have to work on a very heavy, complicated website, or you have a big, huge e-commerce website, or you sell security as a service for WordPress website, and you want to really go the extra mile in order to be fully, completely secure as possible. Well, you can do more. So let me show you what you can do more. First, you can go for the pro version of WPvivid. It means that you have more backups retained. So you can go up to, I don't know, for instance, 30 backups. So if you do daily backups or even twice a day, well, I think 30, 40, 45, who knows how far you can go, but you can go for much higher numbers than 7. So I recommend you to do that if it's important for you and if you have something going on the website every day. So go for instance, 30 day, and you can go for 30 day. You just need to install the pro version. So here is the documentation of the pro version. The interface is a little bit different, but you have every settings here and you can do the work by yourself. With the documentation, it's fairly easy. So just go for above 7 backups retained, and I think it's definitely the extra mile. 30 for daily backups is really good. Then what else could you do? Well, you could send your backup into multiple remote storage, not just one, not just Dropbox, but what if you could send your backups to Dropbox, Google Drive, and another server, for instance? You could do that with the pro version, again, of WPvivid. So here I have some documentation of send the backup to multiple remote storage. And here you can see that you can check several clouds, which is not possible right now if I go to remote storage and I have another one. I've tried, it's not working. You cannot add multiple remote storage right now. So you need the pro version. The pro version is really not that expensive. It's about $29 at the moment. So I think you could consider it, but you can do that. You just need to install the pro version and then you can go for two or even three storage, remote storage. I think this is definitely the extra mile. The one last thing advice I could give you, an extra layer to have a full complete millefeuille on your website for your security, is to have multiple backup plugins. So you may wonder if you could have multiple backup plugins. You could. Usually it's supposed to work. If the plugins are well coded, you shouldn't have any trouble. And if you just stick with the most popular backup plugins, it should work. Usually most people absolutely don't want to need to do that. You don't need to do that. But if you want to go really, really deep down the rabbit hole, I think you could. And if you want to go for 2, I don't say 3 plugins, but if you want to go for 2 backup plugins, you can. And well, who knows, sometimes things are not working properly. Sometimes mistakes happen. Sometimes one backup plugin, you have something going on and the backup is not working. Most of the time it works, obviously, but sometimes it doesn't. And in this case, you would need a millefeuille. And in this case, the millefeuille is a server-side plugin. So you're not supposed to have something wrong at the server-side backups and your plugin. But just in case, who knows, if you have a very heavy, important website, why not using another backup plugin has another layer of security? So you can go for 2 plugins of backups. And well, you can do the exact same. I could go for 15 layers of security if you apply the same concept for the other plugins. So you can have remote storage, you can have local storage. Just be careful about the resources you have with your hosting, because I think it can take quite a lot of space with everything we did together in this tutorial. So to sum up what we did together, we have extra steps, not just a backup plugin, but now you understand that you also have the server-side backup, and you can have several layers within your backup plugin. You can go further and be really sure that you're secure. And it was the point of the video, is to have redundancy, and I think it's key to be able to sleep well at night. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial. I hope you learned something new, and if you want to learn more with me with this very special French accent that I have, well, you can subscribe to this channel. I will do a lot more tutorial, a lot more coming, all related to WordPress. It's only WordPress content. So subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.